What's going on, legends? Back with another news video. I said in the last news video that I'd probably only do one more before the games, but we actually leave for the CrossFit Games on Tuesday. There's a couple of things that have happened over the past few days that I think we should talk about, and I don't know how long this video will be, don't know the length, but it's not about the length. It's about the quality. Ain't that right, guys? First up, before we actually get started, I'm super excited. We said in the last video that we're gonna do a meetup at the CrossFit Games on the Friday. Jazz has now booked the venue. We're just kind of waiting for a timetable release schedule so that we don't clash with any events, so you can go and watch it. But I've been asking around and I have some good news. When you come to the event on Friday, obviously Jazz will put money behind the bar so you can get free drinks. It's gonna be super hot, stay hydrated. But this week I've been sorting stuff out, and on the bottom of those drinks there'll be a star for some of you. And when you're there, you can either win one of these We Don't Quit bands and a whole year subscription to Whoop, a whole year subscription to GoWOD. There'll be prizes of loads of podium products, 2 Pood belts, and we're working on a few other bits which are just as exciting. Anyway, so if you're around the CrossFit Games, Friday, afternoonish time, stay tuned on here and on our Instagrams to know the time. And Jazz and I can't wait to meet you. Anyway, it's now only this many days until the CrossFit Games starts, which isn't a lot. Fuck to it! Okay, so the first bit of news that we're gonna cover is that Dave Castro yesterday posted this sneak peek video saying the demo athlete Trista Smith testing the CrossFit Games. More than likely this is gonna be for Chad. Patrick Vellner may have been right, but it did raise a few questions. She's obviously looking at the box. That was something from the semifinals that wasn't really allowed. Now obviously Dave Castro, when he announced Chad, said there was gonna be a twist. One of you guys said, it's literally a twist. Someone asked the question, does it look like she's stepping on a box higher than 20 inches? I think it would be pretty cool, you know how they flip the box, so it'd be like one height higher, you know. And we got a comment that kind of, I was like, yeah, actually that kind of could make sense. It goes, I'm guessing the real twist is that the first 100 is a separate score or something to make you go fast at the start. They did that with the half marathon row. You remember when they had to do the 2K at the start and then, but yeah, answers a few questions, leaves many more. Good old Dave Castro, eh? I actually haven't given my predictions for Chad. I reckon on the male side, it's gonna be Brent Fikowski taking the win. He's gonna utilize his height.
Oh, I see. Oh my God, that's awful. That's not right. Keep going. Put your hat on and get out of here.
And on the female side, dark horse, Amy Kringle. I think she's got the height, the legs. Let's see if I'm right. And then we've had another workout announcement. Individual event 8. A clean ladder with cuts. 30 athletes will do 3 cleans, 2 cleans, 1 cleans at what I'm guessing is an ascending weight. Then they'll cut 10 of them. Then 20 athletes will do 2 cleans, 1 clean, 1 clean, 1 clean. They'll cut 10 of them. 10 athletes will then do 1 clean, 1 clean, 1 clean. When posting this, Dave Castro said, guess the weight. And so here is my guess. My justification around it is that it is individual event 8. It will be after Chad in the morning, so the athlete's legs will be already fried. So I don't think he'll go super, super heavy, but obviously the rep scheme is 16 reps in total if you do all of the bars. So you have to allow some weight because obviously if it was too light, that would be too easy and too fast. Some years they have a max lift. This year I feel like this is what they'll use as the hype max lift. So the end bar has to be heavy and exciting. That's what I'm guessing for the men's weights anyway. For the women's weights, I literally have no clue. Put the women's weights down below, what you think they will do. The women's field, just strength, everything is just... Now with this event, if Guy makes the cuts, I can see him obviously taking the win, but if he doesn't, I'm gonna give this to Dallin Pepper. And on the female side, Laura Horvath. And around this event too, we've seen the shoes that Tia Claire Toomey will probably be wearing for it. She's got a new pair of Lu Xiaojuns, but they have engraved Willow into the strap, which is her daughter's name. Honestly, beautiful pair of shoes. And I really like the Lu Xiaojuns. So, hey, nothing like a little message on this shoe to give you that little bit of oomph. Now in some smaller bits of news, Emily DeRoy backflipping off a trampoline on a lake didn't go so well. Royce Dunn, after nearly ending his career getting into Rich Froning Sr.'s lake, had an interesting, I would say, ride around the lake on a smaller paddleboard than the teens will be using, meaning that his face utilizing a pillow. Just let's hope he doesn't let one rip. Now, if you think your technique sucks, Tia Claire Toomey did give us a flashback of her at regionals in 2014. Look at these burpees.
Ali Murdoch getting to the bar now for her front squats, but Tia is looking good. She's got a jump to go, step onto the mat.
And wrong answers only. What is Noah Olsen doing here? The right answer is he's doing a warm-up for his ankles, but yeah, I just saw it and it made me laugh. But actually, also speaking of Noah Olsen, he got this email and said, what do you say back to something like this? It starts off pretty well. Good afternoon, Noah. This has taken a lot of courage for me to say, but my name is Will and I'm a 26-year-old bodybuilder from Tampa, Florida, USA. I've spent years watching your content. It's very motivational and inspirational. Going pretty well. And I wanted to say, I really want to massage your feet, kiss your feet, and smell your farts. Sir, I have thought about your feet and farts every hour of every day for years. Please, sir, let me know what you think and get back to me. Just don't do that. Please, like, I'm all for being what you're into, just maybe don't make other people feel uncomfortable about it. Also, in some travel news, Jacqueline Dahlstrom has arrived now in America, but her luggage hasn't. Henrik Happelainen bumped into Moritz Wiebig at the airport. Sidebar, it's always fun when you bump into someone at the airport, you know, because you don't expect it, you just wander around, you're like, damn! Yeah, and it's also pretty fun when it's like games time or there's an event on, you always go, I don't know if you do it too, but when I go to the airport, I'm always looking for that pair of nanos or that pair of like Metcons where you're like, you're a CrossFitter, I know it. I know where you go, we're going on the same flight. Emma McQuaid had a slight setback after testing the mile after it got announced and pulling her calf, but she is back moving slowly. And in a game of guess who? Who is this? 3, 2, 1. Gabby Magala. After she did a workout outside, I'm hoping that isn't sweat. And can someone tell Christoph Horvath that isn't a telephone? What he's doing reminds me of when you used to pick up a shell off the beach and listen to the waves in the shell. Do you remember? Anyone do that? I can hear the sea in here. And actually one more thing, speaking about Tia. Do you think you're her biggest fan? Well, maybe this person is. That's Tia Claire Toomey on the back of her arm. Tattooed forever. Hey? Now speaking of the teams, we had the big paddleboard announced.
That's quite big.
We then had their Friday Night Lights event at Farringdon Fields be announced as a 5x400 meter relay with the Big Bob.
Impressive.
So, 2 big items. As they say, everything is bigger in Texas. We've also had the news over the past couple of days that the Masters, Teens and Adaptive CrossFit Games will be live streamed. I think this is great. The Adaptive CrossFit Games being September 19th to 22nd, the Teenage CrossFit Games being August 30th to September 1st, and the Masters being August 29th to September 1st. And what you'll see there is the commentators will see Sean Woodland making a return, although he didn't get picked for the CrossFit Games. Now, there was a bit of controversy when they split Masters, Teens and Adaptive away from the standard CrossFit Games to have their own CrossFit Games. But I think that with this live stream, a lot of people will tune in and watch. And I personally feel there'll be more eyes on it because it's separate and because there is a live stream. So more exposure for the athletes. I think it's a good idea. We've seen what the athletes will wear for the opening ceremony and the first look at the GoRuck kit. What do you think? Not a fan of the camo. Like, I like camo, but that camo is not my favorite. And Dave Castro said there's gonna be another award this year, they just haven't fully finalized it, for the best training camp.
The details aren't worked out, but at the end of the games, we're gonna have a top training camp award. And it's kind of gonna be, yeah, it's not gonna be like, we're gonna give it on the floor. I'm gonna keep it underground this year. We'll have a trophy for it. And then from that, hand it out. So what's not determined yet is the rules around it, but it'll be completely like performance-based. So where my head is right now with it, and you can give some feedback later if you want to send me an email, but I'm thinking like top 3 placing athletes who identify with the camp for like golf scores, the lowest score. So let's say, for example, name 3 of your athletes, and it could be male or female.
So Jason Hopper, Brooke Wells, Samuel Quant, Patrick.
Okay.
Put Patrick Vellner. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say Jason takes second, Brooke takes also second, and then Samuel Quant takes fourth. So your team would have a total of 8.
What do you think? I think it's kind of cool. You get the top 3 athletes from each training camp, give them a score depending on their placing, and then whoever has the lowest amount of points wins for that year. It's just a bit of fun. I think a lot of people look at it and be like, people have switched training camps and whatever, and it's biased and you can buy it, and yeah, I get it. But also it's just something else, you know? Bit more news, bit more something. So I think it's a good idea. And to finish off, completely separate from CrossFit, I don't know if you saw this, but you're never too old. Xi Yingzheng is making her Olympic debut at 58 years old in the table tennis after 40 years of retirement. That's madness. And then if you didn't see it, it did go very viral. Snoop Dogg did a jerk. Man is just completing side quests. Team, no one told you today, you're an absolute legend. Whoop, thank you for sponsoring the video, and hopefully see you in Fort Worth on that Friday morning. You lot, great people. See you in the next one.